Hello, I'm Dr. Sarah Saeed, Director of Community Partnerships at the Interfaith Center of New York. For the past few years, ICNY has worked on an exciting program that brings together Catholic and Muslim social service providers, mosques and churches in Staten Island, Bronx, and Manhattan. These partnerships have built greater mutual understanding about social justice in Catholicism and Islam, and joint projects to address hunger, re-entry, recovery from addiction, and immigration.
Okay.
Recently, we expanded this program to include all 5 boroughs to focus on the issue of child welfare and foster care. Because the Muslim social service sector is newer and less developed, Muslim families who face charges of child abuse or face child removal usually have to seek services from historically Christian or Catholic agencies. We realized it would be really important for staff at these agencies to understand more about Islam and working with Muslim families and to meet Muslim cultural brokers. We also wanted to educate the Muslim community about how the child welfare system works and to prepare them to become foster parents if they're interested. This video describes the trainings that we offered through this program.
One of the things that we looked at or started to look at was, where are the Muslim children in the system? Can we actually find them? Or how is the system actually absorbing or paying attention to the various religious dynamics, especially with Muslim children and with folks from the Muslim community? How can workers become more sensitive and aware of the specific needs of Muslim children, and also how the Muslim community can become more aware and more open and available to working with the system as well as with other families that may be fostering or need foster care. The way that the program works, in the first half of the day, from about 9 o'clock to about 12, it's a workshop for agency workers. And the very first session involves an Islam 101, like an introduction to Islam. As the sessions move on, there's more of a specific, borough-specific discussion with an agency or with someone who works with a particular community, for example in Manhattan or in Brooklyn or in the Bronx, something very Bronx specific about the diversity of Muslim New Yorkers in that particular area. And then we also have kind of an introduction to cultural competency and the questions that agency workers need to ask or need to have in consideration when dealing with Muslim children or with Muslim families.
I'll be focusing on our work in the Bangladeshi community because the community that we're serving predominantly in the Bronx is Bangladeshi. According to the last census, the Bangladeshi community is the fastest growing ethnic community across New York City. We have one of the lowest English proficiency populations. Almost a third of the community is below the poverty line. In terms of financial decision making, sometimes the women have experience a loss of power once they immigrate, because the men are the ones that are going out and working, the children are in school, and the women find themselves at home for long periods of time. The clients that come into our space who encounter different public agencies often face a lot of different issues. So hopefully the people that are there receiving them, once they come out of this workshop, can understand them a little bit better and work with them in a more compassionate way and in a more understanding way, because they receive some information here that we shared today. And on the other hand, it's also important for us to know what issues they face, what problems they face, and what the challenges that they have when working with new communities like our own, and for us to be able to address that on our end.
It is indicating that the therapeutic relationship is essentially the key in making success between the clients and the therapist. And now that there's also this idea of the Institute of Medicine regarding evidence-based practice, where the best research, best practice, and the client value system or the client worldview is important, because those are some valid set of lived experiences that we need to access. And in doing this cultural competence component with ACS, those are where this project works very well. Maybe later. Involved with this one. But I felt to kind of connect them to the idea of cultural competency and spirituality. The apple would represent in itself what happens when a client comes to you, and all clients in general sense represent the apple, but each client comes with their own set of culture dictates context, that idea of a story, a person, or a place. Because the cultural nuances are so subtle that you can't operate from assumptions. You need to be in a conversation. And I think that, so I said to him, so well, that's part of the reason why practice-based evidence is so important, because your experience is valuable too.
And the second half of the day is for Muslim community leaders and Muslim community foster parents, and we do the same kind of thing, only in reverse. Instead of Islam 101, it's ACS 101, and looking to the system, and then more borough specific things there, in terms of what's happening in the Bronx or in Brooklyn or what have you, and the various agencies, specific agencies that are available for Muslim families and for Muslim communities.
A lot of faith leaders nowadays, especially within all branches, whether they're Jewish, whether they're Christian, or either Muslim, or they're Jehovah's Witness or anything, actually they don't have the information that's really needed out there to help the community.
In my job, I'm the Employees Assistance Program Coordinator, so I have employees that come to me that need different resources, and I serve a very diverse workforce. For me, it's important to be able to educate people and to also get, different opinions, and you have to understand diversity. New York City, very diverse, and you have to be culturally competent.